Welcome to the game of the week. Quick housekeeping comment before I get into the game. I noticed that as my games were going longer, capture age was slowing down. So I did a little bit of research online, and people recommend that you put the actual AoE tab in windowed mode, and apparently that'll help things from slowing down. So I gave that a try, and it seems to be working. So hopefully we'll be able to get through the games a little quicker, because most of the stuff you can pick up on 2 or 4 or 8 times speed, and I don't want these videos to go too terribly long. So we're going through Dark Age here, Portuguese versus Poles. And I went into this game just thinking, Schwa, you need to stick to the plan. Sometimes I've been getting a little too creative with my game plans recently, and I just need to stick to what I was hoping to in the beginning, which is fletching attack with a few archers in Feudal Age, and then going into crossbow timing and adapt from there, whether it be a siege push or more town centers or more military, but making sure I get my timings really good and making sure that I stick to my own plan and do what I'm hoping to do. So you can see the archers are coming out now. I think I might have been a little late on my blacksmith this game, so hopefully that's not too terribly bad for my fletching timing. And he's going for scouts here. I did a pretty good job of scouting. I knew what was going on. I'm standing in the way of his, what is this, his blacksmith. And so he's trying to chase me out of the way, get his spearmen. I send these guys in, and I do a good job seeing this and try to ward it off. Then I go this way and completely forget about my army, and so he comes in and just kind of mows me down with scouts. I see him at the last minute. I'm able to take out 2, but that's not the most consequential thing in the whole world. So that was probably my biggest mistake of the game. But I go out, I'd scare him a little, I keep him in his base, and in the meantime I'm getting pretty much fully walled. So he shouldn't be able to find too much damage with his scouts if he were removing his scouts, which he is not. My opponent forgot to pick up double bit axe, which seems to be a pretty consistent theme for a lot of the people I play. Just not getting eco upgrades. I think at this level, which again is around 1200 elo, everybody has things that they're good at, and everybody has things that they're not so good at. And I think for me, my eco management tends to be one of my strong suits. I can get my build order down pretty well. I can balance my resources well. As you can see, I'm pretty much on my way to Castle Age right now. But I think the military control is something that I can struggle with at times, as you saw from that dreadful interaction that we just had at his base. So now I'm walled up, I got a good mass of archers, I can just shoot away his scouts, and I'm making sure that especially at these more exterior points, I'm house walling behind so that he can't surprise me when I can't get over to repair quite in time. I am up to castle, seems like significantly quicker than he is. The other thought that's going through my head is, since I'm playing against Poles, and they have this interesting feature of they want to build all of their farms around their folwark. The downside of that is that these villagers are largely unprotected. You can see this folwark here. These guys, if they were to get attacked, it would take them quite a while to get back into the town center where they can be well defended. So I was feeling a lot more confident about my idea of doing the crossbowman timing. And with the crossbows, one of the things that I personally have been working on is moving around with my crossbows to find as much damage as possible. Oftentimes I'll get that initial attack of right when the upgrades come in. I can stand behind a wood line and find some damage, but I need to move around and find where the real damage is. Unfortunately, as these guys were moving out, they got hit by the scouts, so I do my best to micro, and I think I do end up winning this fight. I think my micro against the scouts was actually one of the best features of this game. I realized that with stop micro I probably wouldn't be able to win, so most of this was focus fire, which is a little more micro than I'm used to, but I was actually able to win that fight with 4 crossbows remaining. So pat on the back for that. That is a lot more micro than I'm usually able to do. So again, practicing, okay, walking around, I can't get in here. Let's see what's over here. Just walking with my crossbows. Now, once I see that he's gone into cavalry, now I'm starting to build up the pikes as well. We're just going to start off with the 1 TC, get my economy good, going for ballistics. I still haven't picked up bow saw or heavy plow, so I need to get my economy right with that. But at this point, I'm just shooting at his walls, trying to get in, trying to poke. Again, I'm thinking even with these crossbows, he may have a larger military force than I do, but because he's so defended, I can probably find a lot of damage. So I'm massing up my archers. I have this little force out here. I'm going in and I'm going to shoot against his villagers, and he's coming all the way around with these knights. So pick off a few villagers here. I think I'm doing a good job. At this point, I know I'm going to lose this fight, so I'm trying to get as many villager kills as possible. And I think we get 3, maybe 4. No, not quite. So now I know I've done my damage, and I'm going to put up this TC, and I'm just massing more at home. I know I'm fully walled, and again, because I've done damage, I can kind of sit back behind my walls, just get my eco good, know that I'm well defended with these archers behind my walls, and my opponent is still kind of scrambling. Now, my opponent has the resources where he could put down extra town centers. Maybe he's thinking that since he's Poles, he's more focused on the full works than he is on the TCs, which I understand, but he needs more villagers coming out. And let's look at this idle TC. 5 minutes. Oh, boy. There we go. 5 minutes from my opponent and 25 seconds from me. So again, economically, I think oftentimes against my opponent, I have the edge. And you can see he's only gotten 7 knights out so far, so he's falling behind economically, and he's not really making up for it militarily. So I'm going over here and poking. I think this will be a better wall to go through. I have my 2 spears. I probably could have focused a little more on upgrading my spears as well. I got the archers almost fully upgraded, but I only have the first attack upgrade on the spears. So then I go in, and again, undefended full works, find some more villager kills, and then do my best to micro here. The spearmen are going to do a lot, and I'm going to try to do my best to focus fire the knights and win this fight. So we're going back, and I could take this army. He's trying to lure me into the mangonel, which I see, and so again, I see, alright, this army is pretty much doomed. Let's go take out some more villagers. So I'm running back here, taking out that villager over there. He's going to come in with the 2 mangonels now, and I see I'm pretty much doomed. I'm chasing this villager, so Eco KD, 10-0. So I'm doing really well in that category. Economically, I am 5,000 resources ahead. I'm on 2 TC. I built this TC on my stone, and now I'm going forward, not so much for a forward castle, but just a castle on this nearby hill to secure this location. He's got the 2 mangonels, and so I realize I can't really push with this halb crossbow army. And so I figured I would sit here, and I'd get up a castle, and then his mangonels wouldn't be able to do much against me. As I'm building this castle, I have my military here to try to defend, and he's trying to send out his military to try to stop me. Maybe at this point he first sees my castle. And I'm doing my best to micro these mangonels. I have the spearmen coming in and hitting them, and I do a pretty good job. I lose hardly any of my military against those mangonels, which could have been a big threat. I think a big mistake for me right here after I finished this castle, I wanted something to do with all of these villagers, and I'm going to decide to go on this stone, which was a really dumb decision. I knew he had mangonels, I knew he had things that could defend within his base and poke me from the outside, and this isn't even defended within the range of my castle, so I go and I'm mining stone, and I'm trying to hit this house, I'm trying to get in. He's doing a good job of walling behind right here, just hitting my archers with his mangonels, hitting my spearmen with his mangonels. Here I mix up the villagers in my army, so poor micro, he walls me out here. I'm taking a lot of damage, so that was a poor fight from me. And I should have also realized that right here, I'm just really undefended on this stone, so this isn't the best place to be. Villagers getting taken out here. But I realized, okay, I've got this castle, I've got good military, but I can't really push in. And so it's time to go up to Imp. You can see I'm floating a lot of wood right now, so we're going to go for the third TC, and we're going to do my best to start spamming farms right now and get up to Imp as soon as I possibly can. My opponent's now switching into light cavalry. He hasn't had the best gold income this game. And again, now he's essentially evened out the eco KD because he killed 13 of my villagers over here. So that wasn't the prettiest thing in the world. He's been beating against my walls, but I have just a few archers in my base that I can send around and make sure he doesn't get in. So yeah, I'm very safe at home. All of the pressure is forward on him. He's doing his best to defend with mangonels, and so I figure that the next step for me is going to be getting to Imperial as soon as I can, so I can start treading him down, and he's really not going to be able to get in when I have all of these spearmen and crossbows that will be then upgraded into their Imperial forms, and he's just not going to be able to do much. Runs under my castle fire. He's just running around with these knights, doesn't really know where he can get damage, so he's going to raid, but even here I'm pretty well defended. This TC is a little exposed, but I don't know if he knows about it, and I'm massing more army at my base. I probably could have gone forward with that. Honestly, I don't know what the right decision is with this army, if I should mass up first. With crossbows, one of my biggest fears is just being caught out in the middle of the map against his cavalry especially. So I chose to mass at home before going out, and I knew that this army was well defended. They're just sitting behind the castle, and these guys are taking some wood. He's trying to get in, but there's not much that he can do. Finally, I'm investing into the upgrades on my spearmen. I'm getting the armor upgrade, and we are already on our way to Imp. My opponent is using the market as best he can to try to get up to Imp, and soon he'll be clicking as well. He's a little locked in. You can see that this gold, this wood, he's not taking any of these external resources, and he ditched this wood line. So really he's down to this one wood line. So there's not a lot of damage that I can find with my archers if I were to go around and poke. But again, I should be practicing moving around with my archers. I should know this. I should be scouting his base, seeing where he's taking resources, but he's doing a good job of taking his resources only in safe locations so that eventually, hopefully, he'll be able to push out. He's got the resources for Imp. I guess he just doesn't really realize it, and now Imp is coming in. Maybe he had it in his queue behind a few villagers. I see this hill here, and finally I'm realizing, okay, I've had map control forever, so it's time to put down a monastery and start taking these relics. Now this big army that I had massed is going out. They're going to defend these guys, putting down this castle. I'm massing more at home. His light cav are running around, and he's just jumping. Well, I don't think he sees this castle yet, so he's just going around. He's trying to take this stone out here. Bless his heart. Probably because of the Poles bonus where they get gold as they collect stone. He really wants that stone there, and with my castle, I at least denied him this stone, even though I'm not able to take it. So he doesn't have any stone in his base that he can take. 2 gold veins here. So he's trying to do his best, I assume, to get a defensive castle or something like that. But now I'm up to Imp. The Trebs are coming out right away. Conscription, Halb. Probably I'll start going for the Bracer and Chemistry and all of that soon. My eco is a little unbalanced right here. I'm running low on wood and I have too much food, so I probably should have used the market more than I was doing. But then I get the upgrades for my archers, going out, taking some of these relics. Now he discovers that I have the second castle, and I have an army kind of closing in on him. I got my Treb coming out, start trebbing his base. And then very soon he will realize that things are not looking good for him. So he comes in and tries to get some raids. I got this army at home. These guys will have to garrison soon if I see it. I hope I see it. Alright, so he gets a few villager kills. Now he's up to Imp. I'm coming in with my army trying to get this out of the way. This monk is still taking relics. Yeah, and this army is pretty much cleared up by now. And he hits me with the, dude, what's your elo? So, I assume that's a compliment, and he is potentially underhandedly accusing me of being a smurf. But after the very poor showing of the last game of the week that I posted, I wanted to post a game what it looks like when I'm actually playing well. I got full map control here. He's just running under my castles. I got military to support my economy. Again, he's trying to come in and find some raids. I probably should have built this house here to make sure I'm fully defended. He's trying to come to the same spot, but I've left 4 arbs here just to poke at him. I'm getting full upgrades on my halbs, just trebbing down his base. He's got the castle here. Honestly, I don't know if I know about that. I think I came in for a raid earlier to try to take these guys off of his stone, so he is reduced to using the lumber camp here under his castle, and I'm just coming in with the arbs, trebbing down his outside infrastructure, and that is the game. So I think all in all, I did a very good job of sticking to the plan and knowing what my order is. I think it was really good for me to realize that what I needed to win this game was to get good damage on his exposed eco with my crossbows, which I think I did. I am very proud of myself for that target fire micro that I did in the middle of the map in the mid game with my crossbows against his light cav, I believe it was, so that I could keep pushing forward. And then I found my eventual win con of sit on this castle, get to Imperial as soon as possible, start trebbing things down. So I don't think I had too terribly many mistakes this game. I think I balanced my eco pretty well. I think I used my military well. So this is a feature of what it looks like when I am actually playing according to my win con. And this guy was just so far behind that he had to tap out here. So if you have any tips or comments or anything like that, always looking to improve, feel free to leave them down in the comments.